Hi everyone, Chat here once again. I want to start apologizing for the lateness of this video. Like I told you on my other social media channels where we keep in touch, sadly unforeseen events came up, so I had to postpone this. Besides the fact that the whole month of August was full for me, but that isn't the topic of discussion here. The topic of discussion for this video is, like I promised, none other than the #1 prankster since her father, bearing the torch of his legacy, the one and only Hanami Uzumaki. In my latest video dedicated to Hanami Uzumaki, I promise you she's going to be coming next, and here I am finally keeping my word. Thus, let's talk Hanami Uzumaki and the general facts you should know about her. Hanami gets her name from the all-known traditional Japanese custom of flower viewing, and not just any flower but cherry flowers, also known as Sakura, her mom's name. When the fandom created Shinjuku, it was a given that he had to have a sister. The fandom always loved the idea of 2 kids for NaruSaku. Of course, that was before we thought, why not 3, and we added Arashi. But Hanami was always meant as the second child and ended up being portrayed next to her brother in most of the fan arts. Back then, Kishimoto had 2 children. I remember how I personally thought that this family is like an unintentional homage to him, given that he confirmed he is like Naruto and Kushina is like his wife, which is a foil of Sakura. So, in a way, NaruSaku family ended up mirroring Naruto's original creator. That was, of course, before the ending happened as we know it. And even then, Kishi had his 3rd child, and in parallel, we were playing with the idea of Arashi. Funny coincidence, right? Anyway, that's how Hanami came to be. Her name as well. We wanted something that is an homage to her mother, but a name on its own. So we found the next best thing that is symbolic to Japan, the Hanami Festival, and we named her after it. 2 birds in 1 stone, basically, if you think about it. Although the date of birth was initially attributed to her brother Shinjuku, given what happened by the end of the series, we switched Shinjuku's date of birth from April 3rd to November 7th. This permutation only proved itself to be more appropriate, as Shinjuku was the rebirth of the NaruSaku fandom via his zodiac sign, the Scorpio, whose last evolutionary step is the phoenix who is reborn out of his own ashes. And Hanami, well, given her name symbolism and the spring season, April 3rd only seemed more fit for her than her brother. Hanami usually has pink hair with 2 ponytails, as well as a hairpin in the shape of a sakura petal that she never removes except to sleep. She has Naruto's blue eyes and shares many of his expressions and quirks. In terms of personality, Hanami is a little more boisterous than Shinjuku. She learned what pranks were from a young age and enjoys performing them on others, but hates when pranks are being pulled on her. Her pranks are usually seen as going a little too far or overboard. Someone had to take that legacy of her father's to the next level, right? She's very skilled in blackmailing Shinjuku. She knows he spends time reading about animals and slugs when he should be studying, as well as other habits of his that he keeps from their parents. She uses this power to make Shinjuku do just about anything. She often calls him a pushover for this reason. However, despite that, she very much adores and admires her older brother. Though there is usually very little reason to be very protective of him, she finds a way. She believes Shinjuku to be too naive to deal with love and romance and strives to keep girls away from him unless she approves of them first. This often annoys Shinjuku, but only because she is rude. Secretly, he appreciates one less person following him around for no apparent reason. Despite being more boisterous than her brother and her pranks being recognized as brutal at times, she still has many friends, much more than her brother Shinjuku. In few words, I guess you could say that Hanami's personality ranges from mischievous temperamental prankster to overprotective tomboyish girl, a perfect mix of her parents. Which brings me to my next point. There's no mistake that she's the loudmouth of her family, much like her father was back in the day. So how does that translate into relationship with her family? Well, pretty simple. While she's daddy's little princess, she's also mama's not-so-little headache. Having to deal with an improved miniature version of your husband in his younger years can be truly a challenge. Nevertheless, she is loved by both Naruto and Sakura tremendously. Yes, Sakura is the stricter one of the parents, but that's only because Naruto spoils her rotten. But despite being the stricter one of the parents, Sakura is very caring and motherly with her whenever she doesn't have to keep her in check. In terms of her relationship with Arashi, like Shina, she is very overprotective of him, but she still plays a prank or 2 on him too. Basically, no one escapes a good Hanami prank. However, she also likes to tease him about his grumpiness. As for Shinachiko, as much as they bicker, he is very fond of her, as expected, and is generally the good influence on her. However, they do have their moments because of the reasons mentioned earlier, such as her blackmailing him and falling prey to her schemes and chasing away potential romantic interests because she thinks not only that they are annoying, but Shina is oblivious to anything having to do with love and romance. While her team varies from artist to artist, it is widely accepted that Hanami's sensei is none other than Shikamaru. This has been unanimously voted by a majority of the fandom back when this aspect was decided. We believe that it would be a funny touch to have a hyperactive kid being taught by none other than Shikamaru, who, as we all know, is usually the laziest out of the former Konoha 11, the man for whom anything too overactive is, well, troublesome. So then, what better antithesis to this character if not Hanami's overly exuberant personality? I'll let you guys imagine how a training session between these two would go on. Of course, this aspect can vary once again from artist to artist. However, one technique that everyone agrees upon is that Hanami gets her grandfather's flying thunder god. Unfortunately, she doesn't have the capability to be still and super studious the way her brother does, so medical ninjutsu for her is out of the question. However, she took from her mother the knowledge over seals and chakra control and thus was able to learn hiraishin. Another one that she likes to master because it helps her with her prank is the sexy jutsu, because like father, like daughter, right? Like her brother, Hanami is present in most alternate universes the fandom has created, such as Shinachiko Kousen, Naruto Hisedai, Konoha, Next Gen Chronicles, or Rebellion. In most of the alternate universes, she's, like we all know, Shinachiko's younger sister. However, in some rare cases, we can find her being Hanako's twin, like I told you in the previous Shina video. Despite initially wanting to be strong like her father but not take his role, as she grows up, Hanami sees the importance of Naruto's dream of peace, so she eventually ends up wanting to become Hokage like him. When Shinachiko is annoyed or angry with her, he pinches her cheeks until they get red. It is unknown if she becomes a Tozage like her father, grandfather, or Jiraiya. However, she does create her own Sage-like cloak with Sakura petals instead of flames. And with this being said, we get to the end of this video. I want to know from you, what do you guys think about Hanami? Found out something new about her? Any impressions about what you learned? I can't wait to hear your opinions in the comments down below. Also, please don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe and hit the notification button to stay on track with the content I produce. You know, all those things that help a creator out in their battle with the algorithms, because yes, that's a real struggle too. Anyway, I won't drag this over too much. Thank you once again and see you all on the next video. Yours truly, Chat.